Are we live?
You're live? We're live! Welcome to another adventure with Travelling and Brew, Liam and myself, Konnichiwa. Luke John, for anyone that doesn't know. Of course you know me because I'm on more than him.
Yes, indeed. And in front of us, we've got some more beers. Following on from the last one, this is going to be, again, just an unedited ramble of 6 beers from a local producer.
Not on the same day, different day.
Yeah, we're sober, different day.
We're sober.
Again, we have had no pre-drinks before this.
Nope.
We quote and state that, but it doesn't mean that's true. But we've had no
but
drinks before this. And we're looking at Loch Ness Brewery, and I think let's just get one open and potentially start looking into it. I'm going to give you the little pamphlet that we've got. Oh. Do you want to read anything on there at all?
Aviemore Taxis. 441479. Oh, did you not mean the sponsored promotion? So first up we're going for the LightNess, which is a session pale ale at 3.8%. It states that it's a delicate fruity ale with Galaxy, Columbus and Citra hops, combining beautifully with clear Highland water, straw gold in colour with aromas of apple and zesty citrus, leading to a fresh, pithy, I love that word, tangerine bitterness.
Yeah, pithy is always a good description
I love the
sort of chuck in. It is 3.8%. It's a session pale. It is definitely light. I'm going to always say the glasses aren't probably the cleanest glassware from us. I apologise, but there we go. Very light.
Very light, very straw, very
sort of what I'm expecting though. The description for it and the colour of it matches what I was perhaps expecting, plus the ABV of 3.8. Nose-wise?
That's quite inviting actually. That little citrus, little orange.
Not that pithiness, but yeah, there's...
Yeah, not getting a pithy.
There's light citrus, light tropical orange in a sense on there, and then a malt base that comes through as well on the nose. Well,
I'm enjoying that.
Bottoms up.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers to all. And
cheers, folks.
If you struggle along with this,
we do apologise in advance. Oh no, I quite like that. The malt definitely comes through.
It's mainly a malt base. That's what's coming through. But the malt is a light, delicate malt at that stage.
Yeah.
It's cereal flavours.
It's still got the sweetness. It's still got that little bit of citrus. Zesty.
On the nose.
On the nose, yeah, but...
The hop is more for nose, it feels, rather than adding into this. It's a session pale ale. It's not going to be overly hopped most of the time.
No, but there is a nice light carbonation to it. Like what you probably would expect, but actually, I quite enjoy that.
It's sessionable.
I mean,
it's
it's
easy
also
drinking.
our first beer of the day, so we're probably going to enjoy this one more.
And it's going to go down easy at 3.8 and first drink. Yeah, true. That is totally true. If you're perhaps wondering, we're still using the Cairngorm glasses. We've got the bag at the back there still. We did buy these at the Cairngorm Brewery, didn't we?
Yep.
But the story behind it is that in about 2016, wasn't it, that Loch Ness were actually bought out by a partnership of Cairngorm and...
an independent baser.
the Cobbs Group, who seemingly run everything from cafes to hotels to base camps to farms and garden centres and everything up here in this area.
Yeah, and if I hang around any longer, they're probably on my ass as well. So
yeah,
we better get a move on.
You can't get away from them. They're everywhere. But So I'm assuming it's still being brewed independently elsewhere, or is this actually being made at Cairngorm?
It's being made at Cairngorm.
I was thinking that because when I looked on Untapped, it did say it was being made in Aviemore, which is where we are.
Yep.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's been brewed by them. Same place as Cairngorm, so we probably expect similar type of flavourings.
I would say to begin with, this is actually probably better than where we started with last time. I know Cairngorm is more traditional. We were working with bitters, ESBs,
Yeah.
and then we had some of the lager and wheat. Styles that they were going into. Whereas I feel this is more, we've got our session ales, we've got a brown beer, a stout, and then we've got a lager as well. So I think there's a lot more variety here. And this is definitely the sort of lineup you would see with a craft brewery. This is what you would expect. They've gone for a whole range, haven't they?
And I will say, no offence to anyone from Cairngorm Brewery that may be watching this, I don't actually remember the beers from the other day. Like, none of them really... Like, in my mind of nice beers that I've had recently, it's just not there. I know the profiles that weren't really particularly great. It was a lot of barley wheat.
I know when we headed out, they had trade winds on and you opted not to go for trade winds and get something else.
Oh yeah, I got a Stella Artois.
Yeah, so you ended up going for a Vesti.
Yeah, I went for a Vesti.
Yeah.
But yeah, just not memorable.
I mean,
this one for me is already better than probably 4.
Yeah, I do remember the beers, and as I said, the first one wasn't a great start with the bitter. The second bitter, I nearly said. The second one was the ESB, which was good. I liked the orange Weiss beer one. It wasn't really Weiss beer, but the orange lager. And then lastly was Boffy, which, that was really good, I thought. Boffy was the standout, but that's only a new seasonal one, I think. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that one got made permanent. But really good start for LightNess from LochNess. Again, hand over to director to clean those out.
I think we're already on a good start there.
Yeah, but starting with a bitter probably wasn't the best option.
Well, that is why we have the H2O.
Yeah.
And the sparkling, because he's posher than I am.
Yeah.
But actually, at this rate, I'm probably just drinking pure Highland water, which all this is made out of.
What are you on about? This is Perthshire Scottish mineral water. Exactly same as you.
Peckham Springs come to mind.
So, yeah, a little clean out. Moving on to the next beer. The next beer is the Bohemian Lager, which is the SazziNess.
SazziNess. So, SazziNess is a Bohemian Lager, 4.5%. And it states here that it's a crisp, clean lager with Saz and Bobek hops, combining beautifully with a clear Highland water. There we go again. Clear golden colour with hints of corn, lemon zest on the nose, followed by a classic lager bitterness.
Okay. Whenever the other video, they did claim, didn't they, that the lager was not Bohemian. They used
Crystal Bavaria.
Bavaria, yes. I was trying to think. We've got Bohemian here and Bavaria, similar region areas at that stage that we're looking at. Let's get this poured out and check and see what we're looking. Did we say crystal malt?
Yep.
I feel like I should kick the director as he crawls underneath it.
Director's currently crawling all across the floor so he doesn't get in front.
Or it didn't say.
Didn't say.
Okay, I know they use crystal malt as the base on the other ones. I'm assuming if they've taken over, I don't know if they've kept the recipes or whether they've done it that way.
Reinvented them.
It doesn't say on here at all. Yeah. Lager Saz, Pilsner hops. Okay. Well, to begin with, that is darker than the LightNess.
Yep.
For me, that's moving definitely towards your lagery mainstream colour that you would expect of a Euro lager. That's hitting it bang on with the colour. Not as dark as perhaps I would say I would be expecting for a Bohemian. I would be expecting something that's got a bit more colour. Not going towards the amber route, but
it's also not as dark as the photo within the little brochure thing either.
I think we found that last time. They weren't the same colours.
If the camera's wobbling, we do apologise, but he's back on the floor again. There you go.
Oh, he left his phone. He's got to do something while we're boring him. I know that. Yeah. If you've lasted long to this stage, you've lasted longer than director.
Yeah.
He's already given up.
He's checked out.
He's going on TikTok.
Or,
All right, let's get a nose on this.
or TikTok. One of the.
Oh no. I got Tic Tacs here. Okay, so it's definitely got a hop nose to it coming through. It's not pure malt, so there's definitely.
Yeah, I always get a feeling when people say it's a lemon zesty nose. Straight away, I thought of me, it just goes back to the Barry Island IPA, which is like extremely lemon. You know,
you're thinking of like window cleaner or something, or spray for bleach.
Spray,
Yeah,
bleach. Spray,
Overly.
kind of. So when they always say a lemon zest, I just think, antibacterial. At that point.
Do you want a pint of antibacterial? No, thanks, mate. I'm good.
And actually, I deleted all those beer reviews and Barry Island, don't go there.
What, the beer or the location? What are you on about?
Both.
Jesus.
Both at this point.
Okay, so I insult somewhere last time. You insult somewhere this time. Brilliant. That goes well.
Yep.
I'm not welcome in Newport. I like the nose. It's a lager, but the Saz hop is definitely creating some sort of hop nose element that's going with a very clean lager malt nose.
Yep.
I think we've rambled enough. Let's get in for a taste. Cheers again to you and anyone still remaining.
Mr. Wilson.
Director's actually looking. Cheers.
A lot more bitterness than I thought it would have.
Mm-hmm.
It's crisp due to the bitterness, but clean?
No, it's not clean.
No.
It's not clean. It's drying. It's bittering. And I wouldn't even say that's the finish element. That's the first hit straight away that comes for me.
Yeah.
And then the malt does remain at the end. It does leave the malt. But that's just more coated the outside of the mouth. The tongue is still dry. None of the hop nose or really that maltiness that I was expecting as much. It's different when it's come through there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I could drink it easily, but I don't know if it's, again, a pint sort of level. Would I have a pint of this?
I think I'd struggle with a pint. I think I'd get bored of it.
But it's clean. Again, it's another shitty day here. Well, actually, I say another shitty day. Sorry, it was lovely weather last time. It's been shit weather today, hasn't it? It's been raining. If it was warmer weather, the how quickly you drink this, how would it go? I think that, again, in a summer day, and anything is neckable really on a summer's day, and hits that sort of quench point. But it's not an easy drink on a cold day, and it is chilled from the fridge, super chilled. Yeah. At the temperature you would get this from the bar.
We put it in the crisper drawer just to see if it would actually crisp any of the beers up any further. Obviously, we're not that stupid. But no, I can't see myself having another pint of this straight after.
Yeah, I think a pint would be my limit on it. I could drink a pint and go, and again, it would have to be a warmer day. If it was the first beer, I say, the question is, if we drank this first, would it have been, that's easy? I don't think that's the case. I still think LightNess was that session IPA perfect. You came in, had your session ale, and it just bang, and then you move on to the better stuff.
Yeah, I mean, all I've got now, flavour profile, is just malt. Mm-hmm. Any sweetness has gone. Like it's just not there anymore.
I'll say carbonation, it's perfectly fine. It's not overcarbonated, not too gassy. It's just too drying for me. It really is too drying. Every sip, it feels like it's taken another layer off my tongue. because it's hitting the same location. I'm trying to disperse it around the mouth as well, but the dryiness just, when it hits the tongue, that's it.
But then I'm also thinking, is it right to call it a Bohemian lager?
That's what I was questioning about.
'Cause,
One, with the original colour element, I just felt it was a bit lighter than it should be. More Euro. Bohemian. But they've added Saz hop to it, so, I mean, who knows?
Who knows? But, yeah.
Corn and lemon zest.
I'd still try it. Actually, this whole range here that we've got in front of us
Sounds more interesting.
is that entire range.
Yeah, I believe so. I
So
don't know if I've seen any others.
There's only 6 in that range. So it's worth getting. If anybody wants to get it, get the whole range and see for yourselves.
Yeah, or just get the ones that we say to get. There you go. Yeah. We do the heavy lifting for you. You know, if you've make it to the end. Just skip to the end and get the...
He and Evie is my travel partner. I don't know if that sounds any better.
I'm just going to let that hang and sit in for a little bit.
I was going to say brother, but that ain't going to happen.
No.
Not with the ginger tinge.
Nope. Yeah.
I've drank that because we paid for it, but I couldn't do a pint.
Yeah, I wouldn't do a pint, and it's not, my preferred option. While directors clean those out, let's pull the next one through, which has the very lovely name of Specialty Pale Ale. What is the specialty with the pale ale at this stage?
So, this one is called Loch Ness. I mean...
is this their original one?
This is clearly their original.
Okay.
Specialty Pale Ale, 4.3%. And it states that it is a light golden in colour with a high proportion of wheat, giving the beer a clean, fresh taste. Clear Highland water, there we go again. I think it's probably written on all these. And the mash blends with pearl hops and elderflower, providing a bouquet of fruit and citrus flavours. I'm sure we've heard that somewhere else.
I was about to say, does this one remind you of a beer we had previously? With the wheat and elderflower, it sounds very, very similar to me.
Very similar.
This is intriguing.
Yeah.
High proportion of wheat. So we are potentially looking at something that is more a wheat beer. Or, I say proportion, doesn't mean anything. That just how much the percentage of wheat is in here.
True, but...
It's light. Yeah.
I also believe the last one we had was also very light.
Yep. Because the wheat base on it. So, yes. He's doing a good job. Thank you for cleaning these. Thank you. He doesn't get enough praise, does he?
Well...
Now go back in your corner.
I was going to say at least
you'll get dinner tonight, yeah?
I was going to say at least...
As in, you'll pay for it.
At least he gets minimum wage, but...
Doesn't even.
Doesn't even get that.
He gets to come up to rainy Scotland with us.
But he gets to pay his own national insurance contribution.
All right, so I'm just going to knock the bobs off because I say glassware for us at the moment. Sorry. Yeah, that is light. This is lighter than our first two anyway. So this is LightNess was darker than this. It is definitely moving on to what we had in the last video, which was those wheat beer ones where there was a high proportion of wheat, but we don't know what the wheat level was, but we're getting lighter colours because of it.
Yeah.
I think that's...
And didn't we say in the last one with so many distilleries around here that have wheat, leftover wheat, sell on used wheat?
I don't know on that side of, where they're getting ingredients and all the rest from, but anyway, interesting. Now, last time it said elderflower, this one's saying citrus and elderflower, so let's nose it and see.
I'm not getting anything. Very, very faint.
Less malt than the lager. There is something there, but that's something that's leading me to think that it's perhaps going to be quite bitter. Which it probably won't be.
Very slight sweetness. Look, tiny amount of citrus, but other than that, there's nothing on the nose.
Okay, let's obviously dive in and see. I think we're both hesitant on this one, aren't we?
I would say cheers to you all, but we'll reserve that for...
Because we're hesitant. We'll let you know based on our first taste impressions whether that is a cheers or not.
Yep.
Ooh. First of all, is there herbs in this?
Doesn't say. That's a bit different, isn't it?
Specialty indeed, yeah. That's it tastes quite herby to me.
Pearl hops, elderflower, bouquet of fruit and citrus flavour.
I was like, where's the other booklet? Is the other booklet around there?
You know what this one reminds me of? The coriander.
That's what I'm wondering. What one was that?
Have they just messed up the label and in beers at this point?
So it's just looking at the Cairngorm ones that we had
So
the other day.
Trade Winds, which is the other one.
Yeah.
Mash blend together with pearl hops and elderflower, providing a bouquet of fruit and citrus flavours. It's the exact same wording on both beers.
Is this Trade Wind? But I think this has been around longer than Trade Winds. But I wonder if they've well, I'm not going to say it's the same recipe, but whether they've taken that recipe and reused it, tweaked it. I don't know. But that is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'd have to have them side by side, but I don't want to do that, sorry.
The fact that the wording is exactly the same in both booklets.
Yeah, it sort of leads you to believe something otherwise.
Both say light golden colour, both say high proportion of wheat, both say giving the beer a clean, fresh taste, both say, word for word, the mash blends together with pearl hops and elderflower, providing a bouquet of fruit and citrus flavours. The only thing this one doesn't say is Highland water.
But it's all Highland water because they're in the Highlands, so that's what they're going to say.
Kind of pointing out the obvious.
Yeah, I was just checking to see if any of these had won awards or anything, little comments there on Untapped. But yeah, this feels very much, colour-wise, I think obviously looking back on the edit and comparing them, it would be easier for me to compare. But this looks very similar in colour, looks very, well, similar in, there is that additional herby taste to it. Yeah.
If anyone watched the last video on my thoughts on Trade Winds...
You enjoyed it. No, I'm joking. You said coriander.
Need I say any more?
Yeah, yeah. I think this one might be a bit of a struggle to get down.
Yeah.
The only thing to say from this is I think it changes. The final three are the better three, in my expectations. We are not only going up in ABV for some of these, we're also moving to hoppy, brown, and stout. So we're moving away from what they had previously. Yep. We're not going to get another Cairngorms in this because we didn't have those. Well, actually, brown. Now I'm concerned, the brown.
Yeah.
No, it's 5.7. It can't be.
You know what I call this?
Repeat.
Controversial.
Oh, fuck off, MacMaster. What are you doing? That's controversial.
Controversial. Yeah. Only thing I want to check.
The multi.
Both exact ABV, 4.3%. So
there you have it.
There you have it. I just thought check the ABV just to see if there's any difference. Nope, exactly the same.
The McLuke master has figured it out. It's no longer controversial. Clumbo has solved the problem.
So it's the same beer with two different labels.
Yep. But I think it may have been a Loch Ness beer to begin with. Because probably, this has been one of their core range beers since before they were taken over. Probably, I think. And Trade Winds isn't as old.
Yeah. Actually.
You're going to bring it in? Good director. Good director.
So, both bottles exactly the same. Same ABV. Made in Cairngorms.
Hang on. What does that say on it? It says...
Citrus wheat elderflower.
Yeah, but... I'm checking something else.
And funny enough, right there at the top of this one, it just says citrus wheat elderflower.
Yep.
So...
Well, I don't know what's going on here because on Untapped that's listed as a wheat beer and this is listed as a Scottish ale, but that Untapped is just people entering things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we thought that didn't really sit as a wheat beer.
No.
But now
there's
it
a high
kind of
proportion...
makes sense when they advertise that one as a pale ale.
Yeah, high proportion of wheat in it, yes, that's given its lighter colour. And then you've got your citrus and coriander elements added to it. But yeah, that is a duplicate beer. I mean, Snap?
Snap.
Yeah, do we win?
We win.
Yeah, we won the game.
We won that game. They're the exact same beer.
Oh, will there still be a nose on it? No, smells like a day-old beer.
Which actually...
No. No bottle cap on. No bottle cap on it as well.
But
I mean, the bottle cap's been on, but it doesn't. Yeah.
But they are word for word, same ABV, same description.
Yeah.
Both say wheat, citrus, elderflower, and they both taste exactly the same. I know it wasn't memorable, but the flavour profile I know, because I'm struggling to drink it.
As soon as I drank that, I gave that look of this reminds me. I was like, this reminds me of something because it does. It reminds me of the beer from the other day. This is disappointing. It's a bit like when you go to a pub and they have an ale on, and you walk in, you go, "Oh, I've not seen that ale before." And you get the ale, you sit down, you have a sip of it, and you go, "This tastes like Green King." And then you look and you go, "Oh, I've just bought the house ale," which is literally the same ale that they push across the country and people just rebrand it. And they call it after something local, either a local person or the pub or a river nearby. And obviously, if you're not from the area, you may not know some of the local things. When it's got a pub name, yeah, clearly. But other times you're like, oh, okay, new beer. Nope, they're just forcing you to have the same beer under a different name.
Yeah. You know what that's a little like? That's like going to a cafe that looks really independent with terrible marketing to find out that it's owned by a company that has a 23. See, that is what I'm saying.
Your battery died.
Cheesed off as I am at learning that news.
It's still recording. You're not getting dinner tonight now. Yeah.
And this is raw and unedited, so all that's going to be
that's going to stay in there. But yeah, your complaint is that the cafe website looked like it was an amateur website, so you thought, oh, that's a local independent cafe, and you go there. It turns out they own a brewery.
They own breweries,
and most of the stuff in the area,
and most stuff in the area.
Yeah.
With a £23.9 million turnover.
17 million profit, was it?
I mean, clearly they can't pay someone to do the marketing, but if you're watching Cobb's Group, give us a ring.
Well,
actually, not after this review.
You can get a move on with that.
I'm struggling.
I'll hand it back the trade wins, and that one will now go back. What I'll do is I'll start reading this while you drink away if you want.
I'll do it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Oh, crikey.
Well, the sooner you get on to the next beer, hopefully the better. If not, I've got some whiskey to clear the palate after. Yeah?
Keep an eye out for that other review. So, this is HoppyNess. HoppyNess.
This doesn't sound like a repeat of anything.
No. So this is an India Pale Ale coming in at 5% ABV. And it states, a full-on USA hop explosion with Columbus and Citra combining beautifully with clear Highland water. Yay! Hints of bright gold with pine and citrus aromas and flavours balanced with a malty sweetness.
Can I just say, the bottle says something slightly different here, facing me. Hop-wise, it says Columbus, Citra, Galaxy and Willamette.
What? In the book, it just says...
Ah, okay, so...
Columbus and Citra.
Yeah, Columbus and Citra is a way to just sell it and say Citra, but it's Galaxy as well in there.
Yeah, well...
Right, let's get this poured out. 5%. This doesn't seem a repeat. This seems a fresh one.
It wouldn't be the first time that they've tried to mislead.
Just not enough room on the thing to print that alongside, saying.
I mean, to be honest, if they just get rid of Highland water on each of the, it does say on every single one.
What they should do is, when you buy this one and you get Loch Ness, it should say, "Please see trade winds." That would save space, wouldn't it?
On the front, they could just say, "Made with clear Highland water."
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, at this moment in time, it's probably just out the tap. Let's face it.
They've got
I mean, the
enough rivers.
water's pure.
They've got enough
it.
rivers running around here, anyways, that they don't need to worry about taps. So we've gone up slightly in colour, but it's still quite pale. This has gone back to, for me, the session. Well, actually, it's slightly darker than the session. It's not as lightened in colour as the wheaty trade winds, as we'll call it, Loch Ness trade winds, the Lochy trade.
Lucky Dread.
Yeah.
Loch Wind.
But yeah, it's got a decent colour to it. It's pale ale, 5%. So we are pushing into higher ABV territory for that. We've moved right on the edge of session, I would say. 5% to 5 point something is roughly this sessionable edge. Nose-wise, Galaxy straight away is the big nose one.
Chocolate.
Hey, the caramel. I'm not getting anything on Citra, but that's probably going to come from nose. But that is more of the Galaxy hop, which is that sort of fresh green. Yep. Yeah, so much for uninterrupted, no editing. Battery issues. So we're back where we were talking. And I don't remember what we're talking about. We were talking about the nose. I said Galaxy hops, and I was just talking about sort of a fresh grassy cut nose to it.
Yep.
And a little undercut of pine. But yeah, we were going to go in for the taste, I think.
Yeah, we were going for the taste. A little bit of malt on the nose.
I will say cheers on this one.
Yep.
Cheers, and cheers to all of you that have struggled along.
Yeah.
In life and to this point.
And if we do tilt upside down and do a couple of backflips, that's technology for you.
We're just very athletic.
Yeah. Do all that without even moving.
I wanted to do. Sorry, an internal joke on something.
Inside joke.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay. Sorry, I thought. Oh, right. You good? Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't. I coughed the beer. It's very hoppy. I've coughed it around my mouth there. I'm gonna have to probably go for a taste now and take this seriously. Well, not seriously, but taste it.
I'm crying because this has been so emotional. This stream, it's unbelievable.
That's good. I like it. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, everyone's flavour. I would say Citra is definitely. They're listing it on there because obviously Citra's a seller. It's not a big hop on there at all.
Nope.
This is going down that big pine, big grass flavours. Oh, I like it though.
The thing with me is, so because they haven't stated the other hops, I would look at that and think,
run of the mill.
That's not for me.
Yeah, you'd think run of the mill.
Because I'm not a huge lover of Citra. So I wouldn't pick that up just because it says in the booklet Citra.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you say, what was it, Galaxy?
So on the leaflet, did it say Mosaic and Citra or something? No, Columbus and Citra it said. But it's got Willamette and Galaxy on there as well.
So, all of a sudden you start putting that in and you think, well, that's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
How will them, come together and kind of gel? But just saying Citra could put a lot of people off.
Citra because Citra is very distinct and it can be overpowering, but it's very distinct in its flavour.
I think it's been overused so much.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people now, when they see Citra, it's kind of boring, entry level. That's kind of what.
Or you get the Citra hot bombs where it's just overly done on Citra now. That's what they try to do. They're trying to push those ones more. But yeah, I think this is more balanced. If Citra's in there, it's definitely taking a back seat. it's not pushing through its flavour onto this at all.
Yeah. That's all right. I mean, because obviously in my mind I had Citra, so the taste I was expecting a big hit of Citra.
I will
Then
ask-
it kind of wasn't coming.
I'll ask the question to you, and I think is what about not the bittering hop it's used more as?
I think so. Yeah.
There is a bitterness here, but it's a perfectly fine bitterness for what we're expecting. This is an IPA. It is balanced. There is the bittering there, which you do want.
Yeah, and I'm sure you get a slight bitterness from the malt liquor as well. So
Yeah. But I'm liking this. I think it's a good
I
beer.
would say IBU wise, probably around at 85.
That's not huge.
It's not huge. It's actually nice and rounded. I could have a pint of this because it's a little interesting. There's the carbonation, there's the malt, there's...
Yeah, I don't think we've touched upon, with all of these, the carbonation levels at all. I think the carbonation was up and down with the previous ones. These have all been well carbonated, which is why I think we may have mentioned carbonation with the lager. But they've all been well carbonated for bottle beers. That they're good. This is probably more carbonated than the rest. It feels like there's a higher carbonation level. But that carbonation level is perfect for pushing round the hop and bitterness.
Yeah. Perfect keg beer. I mean, it's good in the bottle, but I can imagine this on keg.
Yeah.
Would be a pretty decent.
Well, we haven't checked out their pub that they run, but yeah.
No.
I don't think they've got this.
I maybe should go in their pub and ask them, what's the difference between said beer and said beer?
Do you know what? If they had both of them on hand pump, if they had the trade winds and the specialty, the Loch Ness, if they had both of them on, you go, can I get a half of each? And then you go, no, put them in the same glass. To make it a pint, yeah.
We might have to pop out in the...
Oh, we're not doing that to director, driver, chauffeur, delivery driver and all that.
Man that crawls on floor while recording, that type of...
Yeah.
He probably couldn't care less anyway.
Oh, I think he could do with sleep. I think we all could at that stage, but yeah.
But yeah, that's not bad.
I'm liking it. Sorry, I'm taking my time. I feel like I just was laughing too much at the beginning. Sorry, it's still in my head. I'm chuckling slightly.
You were laughing. I almost had it coming out my nostrils.
I'm chuckling inside. Oh, Mike Jevons, fuck you. Not in a bad way, in a good way, in a good way. All right. The next one. So we're on to the penultimate beer. God, that will go down.
That's what she
This
said.
is going to be interesting. This is your area specialty. BBB. Boring brown beer. Sometimes people go out to walk the dog, don't they, in your area? Oh, he's got...
Oh, can you not reach there?
He's got the high jump area now to get over.
Well, you know. So, next, folks, while all that's happening,
Balance it.
this is called Wilderness. It's a malty brown ale coming in at 5.1%. It states a deep dark ale with wheat, amber, and chocolate malts combining beautifully with clear Highland water. At this point, we could see it together.
Water element, yeah.
Chestnut in colour with toasted malt and berry aromas, which give away full flavours and bittersweet aftertaste.
Okay.
So,
Sounds interesting for me. ABV, obviously, 5.1.
yep.
So we've stepped up slightly. I was concerned for a minute that they may have tried to rebrand one of their bitters as a brown ale.
We shall see.
They won't have. I don't think anything was at 5.1 before. Ooh, yeah, we found a new way to deliver those. New delivery mechanism. Way. Found a bit too late, sorry. Oh yeah, that's perfect head on that. It has
Perfect
developed nicely.
Lovely chestnut colour. That looks pretty darn good, if I do say so myself.
I would say that's almost spot on for what I'll be expecting for this.
I think that's probably your best poured beer.
Nothing to do with me pouring. This is to do with the beer itself. And then he does a shit pour on my one, probably. No, it's the beer. It's the beer. The beer's good. The beer is good. Yeah, that's exactly what I'd be expecting. People talk about brown beers. They're never as dark as you'd expect. Obviously, the goat of brown beers used to have colouring added, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Which is why I think in the US it was banned.
It was banned, yeah. My little thing is, obviously, it's clear that it's a brown ale. But the fact that they've put malty brown ale...
I'm expecting...
So are we getting the characteristics of a brown ale, or are we getting like a malt bomb?
Ooh.
Because I'm thinking the only reason why...
My throat, sorry.
it would say malty...
I'm wondering if this is going to be verging on more like a malty mild. Which, again, they're darker, but yeah. I don't know. I'm interested. It does say with wheat. So, yeah, let's go in for it. Let's go for a nose, first of all. In for it? You wanted to have a drink,
I'm just, yeah.
That's a brown ale. A little less sweetness than I was perhaps expecting to come off that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a brown ale.
I'm not getting much malt there at all.
Nope.
Just small amount of sweetness.
Yeah.
Like you'd probably expect.
It's not as much as I expected. That's the thing. I was potentially expecting more, especially as they said a malty. I thought the malt maybe in the sweet malt element that he's going to kick off.
But... Yeah, it says wheat, amber, and chocolate malts combined.
Well, I like the nose.
Yep.
I think temperature-wise, that's perfect.
It's probably perfect.
We've put these ones at the end because they are darker. So they will warm up slightly, and I think that is perfect temperature, touching the glass and the how it is. I'm going to cheers you. You've got to meet me halfway.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers,
man. I had something in my head, but I thought, no, I won't say it because this is going on YouTube.
Brown ales.
Something about keeping things at end. Never mind.
Oh, unedited. Yep. Oh, yeah, it's got the malt coming through, sweetness, the sort of stickiness that you would be expecting from it as well.
I'm just thinking, is that a little too sweet?
It not on the nose, but yeah, in the flavour. But brown ales come across. There's that whole spectrum of some of them really push it with the sweetness.
I reckon this is one like Slurpee David really enjoy.
He likes the sweeter things in life.
Yeah. The malt build is there.
Yeah.
I don't get much chocolate.
No, I think that's more just the colour. Especially if they've got wheat in here, the chocolate is balancing to create the darker colour. Because otherwise, if we assume wheat is 20%, you're going to end up something like down at the end. So they have to add a darker malt base, and that's all it is. It's for the colour. It's not, I think, adding anything on the flavour. Normally, you would have chocolate for the flavour profile.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just there, like, I'm puckering my cheeks. Like, and just in doing that, I'm getting the slight toasty roasty that you would expect.
From a chocolate.
That little toasted and roasted element that you would expect from a mild or a brown ale. It's quite hard to get it out because the sweet hit is at the forefront. And it kind of
it's a long lingering malt, I would say, for me. But it's not pushing much onto the chocolate notes. I know you're
No, yeah, I mean chocolate. Yeah. I'm still struggling.
Or the roasting,
I mean, I'm still struggling with the amber malts as well.
I would say this is actually decent.
Yeah,
I think it's decent. One, it's a higher ABV brown ale, so you're looking at 5%. So that's pretty decent. A lot of them are 4 to 4.5. So it's got that on its side. but it hits all of the, tasting notes that you would expect for a brown ale along the way. I don't think they've done anything wrong.
No.
But it's worked out nice.
Yeah, I just think description-wise, they just need to work on the descriptions a bit. They kind of exclude things that should be mentioned and mention things that really don't have any part within the beer.
So
I just wonder when, they taste it first after it's been batched.
Yeah.
Do they check against, kind of what it's supposed to be, the original format? Do you still get the amber? Do you still get the chocolate? Do you still get the malt? Do you still get...
I was just double checking because obviously there was a difference with HoppyNess. They excluded some information on it, but no, that's bang on word for word exactly the same. I was just double checking in case perhaps what's printed on the side of the bottle had a bit more information. It doesn't. I think, the with Highland water element, it's on the bottles, on there. I perhaps get on the bottle, but the bottle's got more room for a description than that.
Yeah.
Descriptions could be better.
I'm quite I've got my hand wrapped around it
To warm it a bit more.
Just to warm it up a little bit, just to see if anything else protrudes from it, because it still is chilled, even though we've been waffling on now for I don't know how long. It feels like
50,
eternity.
55, 60. It's a new start. He can't tell us because of the camera issues. Yeah, 45 minutes. Yeah.
So I'm just kind of trying to.
Well, I think the temperature-wise for me, this is a decent temperature for a brown, where it's, especially if you're going cask. Cask is going to be, fridge. A lot of times we'll bring it down to 5 to 2. Cask, a lot of time is you're moving up towards 7. So Celsius, I'm talking at that stage.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Not
I think this has been out long enough. It has increased in temperature, and it is the temperature I would be perhaps expecting around in a pub. So this is about 5, 6 at that stage. It could get a bit warmer. As it gets warmer, this is the thing when you're drinking it in a pint glass. When you're in that pub, the pint is warming up, especially you've got a fire and all the rest. We're in, the Highlands. It's not that warm here anyway.
We're in a lodge stuck in the Highlands, and it's raining outside and a little bit chilly.
Yeah, there's the cold element coming through. Only so warm it will get. I like it.
Now I get the chocolate.
Okay.
Now I get the chocolate. Yeah, mine was just a little bit too chilled.
I get more of the roasted, or I'm going to say not burnt, but it's pushing along the burnt edge with mine in as I've gone down and as I'm holding it. So more of that's coming out, but chocolatey is coming through for you now.
Yeah, roasty, toasty.
Yeah,
hint of chocolate. That sweetness is just lingering around on the back of the palate.
I think it's well done.
Yeah,
it's not always something I go for with a brown beer. The reason being is you can't session them because they are a bit too sweet. That's what I tend to find. I don't mind having a brown beer. I just find
I'm not sure if... I mean, normally if I have a brown ale anywhere, I would never order a pint. I only order these by halves.
I thought you were going to say get a stein every time.
No,
I don't order pints. I go litres, baby.
I find so we go back to that temperature point where, if you're in a pub,
It
especially
warms too quickly.
Yorkshire, you're in the pub, the fire's blaring,
Yeah.
this, that, and the other, it warms too quick, and then you lose a lot of the flavour profile out of it because the temperature's increasing. So for me,
that's the
a
same
half
for
is
most.
always...
That's the same for almost every beer, I would say. Depending on weather, obviously, but a lot of times if you've got a fire on in a pub and you're near the fire, you don't want a pint because when you're near the bottom, that's ruined at that stage. Admittedly, some of the lagers, they're pushing it through at literally close to zero, as close to zero as they can get on the line. They've got the super cooling along the lines and all the rest. But even still, they warm up quick.
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't take me long to get through a putty.
Pint of it.
If I had a kind of putty, that's not going to take me. Or Troubles.
Oh, okay.
Chubbles or Chubbles or Chubbles.
We'll interrupt this review for. Well, we've interrupted it many times for other shit.
An unpaid promotion.
No, for a question.
Ooh.
Putty or Chubbles? For me, it's putty. Higher ABV putty, obviously.
The tipper. Putty.
Putty. I don't think you can say that on YouTube.
Well,
Putty.
it's putty because it's got 3 T's at that point. But putty for one-off mouthfeel, thickness, pulp, high ABV. Chubbles for flavour and kind of having, like with putty, it'll be hard to have 2 or 3 on the bounce. Where I think with the Chubbles, because it's not as sweet and as thick, you're
saying the reason why you prefer the putty is because of its sweetness and all the rest, but if you're going to session it, you're going Chubbles because it's not as flavourful.
Because it's not.
I'm putting words in your mouth there. Yeah,
Chubbles is less of a dessert.
Yeah. I mean,
at that point,
putty is supposed to be. It's that hit, isn't it?
And I love putty. I order it. Well, actually, I didn't order it this year because I haven't been drinking. But I normally order putty and then the tipper.
The pub near me does that, and then if I want Chubbles, I have to go into Cloudwater in London. But I don't really. I'm not a huge Cloudwater fan.
But you get Chubbles, and then you get Chubbles, and then you get Chubbles 3
cubed. Yeah.
And then I think there was another one. I think they dropped it after 1 year. It was a lower ABV.
That didn't sell, probably.
I actually thought it was pretty good.
I think the best.
But it was low ABV, so people might have gone, oh, what's that you're giving us? That's.
I know we're going off on tangents and all the rest here at this stage, but I think one of the lowest, lowest ABV beers that I've had was a Siren, and I think it was probably listed as Quartermast, and it was 2.8%, but it was massively hopped. Beautiful for what it was.
Yeah.
The mouthfeel didn't give away that it was low ABV. Normally that's the big giveaway with low ABV beers, is the mouthfeel. Now 2.8 is pushing on the watery edge normally.
Yeah.
But it had a good mouthfeel and the hop to back it up. And that's the thing, that's something like you could probably have a few of if you weren't looking to get smashed. But we're talking about these beers.
Yeah.
And I've taken it on a tangent. And we're not cutting this because we're talking shit because we're talking shit, and we're in the Highlands because we're in the Highlands.
Yeah, basically, if you've got to this far, we can't do a live stream because we're that far up in the mountains.
Yeah.
We're struggling with signal, and this lodge that we've booked for the week doesn't come with Starlink.
Yeah, this lodge that you booked for.
That I booked for the week.
All the planning was you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, yeah. I mean, I should have looked for Starlink, but...
Oh, no, I wasn't on about that. I just meant you planned everything at this stage.
Van life.
Van life? This is the biggest van I've ever been in at that stage. This is HGV articulate lorry life.
This would be an RV in the States.
No. Really?
Yeah, pop outside.
Yeah. If that was your driving quarter just from the sofa. Anyway.
I mean, it wouldn't be us driving anyway, so...
I was expecting a response, but he's deep in...
He's deep in TikTokers.
Yeah, he's in the TikTok lore at this stage. He's literally just swiping. I see the thumb swiping. I should count how many swipes per minute
Well,
he's
seeing
doing,
as I was getting a little bit too comfortable.
I'll pass those over, and we're on to the final beer. So, the darkest is for last. And it's called LochNess.
Is it darkness or just darkness?
Well, it's 2 different lines, so I called it LochNess, but darkness is probably, what they're going for.
Nothing for love.
You can hit those high notes. Go on, hit those. Shatter the glasses.
Shut up. To be honest, the way they're going to charge is £60 if you lose a key. I think I'd hate to see what the price of a glass is. So, darkness, it says it's a rich black stout, coming in at 4.4%. So we've dropped again in ABV for this final one. And it states a full flavoursome stout with chocolate malt and roast barley combining beautifully with clear Highland water. Thank you.
Say with me, class.
Can you at the back say it a bit louder? Thank you. A creamy head. Ooh, that's what she said. With aromas of coffee and sweet chocolate, leading to hints of espresso and luxurious black cherry.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Velvety.
Velvety.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Kind
Let's
of.
get this poured out. Again, I think the temperature is quite decent on this, although in the glass it might feel a bit colder than the outside of the bottle. All right.
We shall see.
I mean, I'm going to need to give you a top up because that's. poured
I
a
was
bit.
going to say another lovely pour, actually.
I feel, especially as we're doing these fit like half and half, I feel that yours was a bit over poured.
He's been under pouring me all night, folks. Don't worry.
No.
Have you noticed he normally gets the last little bit through all these if you go back and watch again?
Oi. I've mixed it up.
Or if
Sometimes you,
if
sometimes
you go
me.
back and you ask your wife just to watch again, just to thing on every account.
To get the views up, yeah.
The views.
Yeah, get the views up. Don't skip after 10 seconds. Yeah, so I think head colour wise is pretty decent on that. I was expecting a colour like that to come off it.
Nice tan. Nice tan to the head.
The colour wise, I will say there is that little rubiness on the bottom of the glass. It is dark otherwise, but holding directly up to light, there is that little Coca-Cola colour at the bottom.
That little ruby hue.
Yes.
To it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it doesn't look too bad.
I mean,
in all
these have
fairness.
been better than the previous one. These have been much better. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
And I may have just
if
jinxed
you,
it.
If you haven't seen the other one,
Don't bother.
go back and watch that first.
Don't bother. Don't bother.
At
Yeah.
this point.
You've already seen Trade Winds reviewed, and you've already heard us talk about it at the beginning. There's no point going back. I should put this one first so no one cares. That would be hilarious. Right, nose-wise. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yep. That is roasted and coffee. That is really good. I'm loving that. That nose is hitting it.
I feel like I'm in a Yorkshire coffee shop all over again.
It carries well. It smells really good, that does.
That
I know what I'm expecting on the mouth with that. The only thing I'm hoping is it's Highland water, which is soft. I'm hoping there's a good mouthfeel with it and that it's not thin. That's my only holdout at the moment. I'm hoping it doesn't come across thin on the mouthfeel.
Yeah. After reading that, I kind of want chocolate. Nice, thick chocolate with cherry.
The cherries is going to be the thing that is the question of, will the cherry flavour be there? Is that a wine sommelier's sort of description?
Yeah.
Of, I taste the fart in the field of fairies, sort of thing. Or will it actually come through? But we'll find out. Well, cheers to this last one here.
The fart in a field of fairies.
Yes.
Twisted fairies.
Oh, okay.
At that point,
Have you smelt her farts then?
we have been to Birmingham. Never mind. Moving on.
Cheers to all of you that made it this far. And thank you. And
Cheers.
in we go.
Here we go. Mouthfeel. Tick.
Yeah.
Coffee. Tick.
Massive.
Tick.
Coffee. Yeah, coffee is the first thing that comes through. And then it comes through again. It's just, it lingers on at that stage. Cherry, though. I'm not getting any cherry or sweetness at the moment, but that's the first mouthfeel. And I didn't cleanse my mouth anyways, but I don't think it was a major issue between brown and this.
I did, but I don't care if there's no cherries in that then.
Oh no, it's beautiful as it is.
I'll
yeah.
take back. That is a very good stout.
Yes. I'm going to go in for another.
That is a very good stout.
Just try and see if I can get, but it could just be it needs a little bit more warming, but I'm happy with that as it is. That is coffee forward. It has beautiful mouthfeel and it just hangs. The mouthfeel is carrying that through and the coffee flavour is just there. That is really nice.
Roasted, fresh ground coffee in a cup. It said espresso. Yeah, if I didn't read the rest of it, I'd say 10 out of 10. Perfect.
But beer descriptions are, like I say, always a bit of artistic license allowed for everything. Although we kill them for saying stuff and say, oh, they said it on the label, and it's not. Artistic license is permitted. I know you're going for the warming technique, which I think will definitely bring out maybe. Have they got chocolate malts in this then?
Chocolate, yeah. So at the minute, there's no sweetness. It is literally roasty, toasty, smack your lips off espresso, which I love anyway. But I'm not getting any sweetness at the minute. So I'm just trying to warm it up, give it a couple of minutes.
Yeah. This, for me, the description I would have used was like coffee stout.
Coffee stout.
The rich black stout, I mean, the word black can just be removed from there because that doesn't add anything to the description.
Rich stout, I'd be like, is it velvety?
If they said rich coffee stout and the chocolatey or cherry element comes through, then I would say that's bang on.
Yeah.
But at the moment,
rich black stout, I just think thick, velvety, Belgian dark chocolate. You know, it says it used chocolate malt.
Yeah.
And at the minute, because of that coffee, I'm not getting the chocolate.
Well,
I'm not getting the chocolate or the cherry. Says,
the coffee is the main flavour, but for me, it's not a negative point. But yeah, if you read the labelling, you're expecting, there's a hint of coffee with sweetness.
Yeah.
At the moment, not getting that.
I love a cappuccino with a Morello cherry just chucked in the top.
Is that what you do? You posho.
We do things.
He's been doing that. He's been going around to the cafes going, can I get an espresso with Morello cherry chucked on top? Yeah, and they went, can you get out of here, please?
Should have seen that when I asked for a mango the other day. Don't do that in Scotland.
The mangoes where?
It's dried.
Oh, yeah. Dry mangoes. It's not really... Yeah, I won't go into mangoes. There's been supply issues with mango, growing issues with mango in India this year. There we go. That's what I've heard.
That's all the same.
Yeah. So mangoes are being sourced from elsewhere.
Should move it over the border of Pakistan. Controversial.
They make mangoes.
Controversial.
I wouldn't say it's controversial. Pakistan makes good mangoes.
I know who would say it's controversial.
Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson, yeah.
Mr. Wilson. Lee, your favourite man.
Lee.
Mr. Lee of Blackpool.
Yes.
Sir Lee of Blackpool, as we should call him.
Controversial. It's got up 50 pence on your burger. Oh.
The pound burger's still there, isn't it?
Well, it's £1.50 now if you add cheese.
It's always been £1.50 if you add cheese. Yeah. Does he increase his slushy prices or cheese prices or?
No, I just think he just doesn't pay rent.
He's got the arcade. That's where the money comes in.
There's one person working in it. No overheads.
No overheads. Right, went over my head. Yeah. We should get you down to Blackpool. Yeah. Oh, that was a bit controversial, wasn't it? What was it? Controversial.
Controversial. You've got to do the arm.
No, I'm not doing the arm.
Controversial.
You can tell it's been raining and we're just watching shit at sometimes, aren't we? Yeah.
Simo soaps, all the beer, no idea, all that rubbish, yeah.
All that rubbish?
Mr.
Wow.
B, Bramall does.
Yeah.
Actually, he takes 2 hits there, because
Slurpee.
So,
And his canal trip.
and his canal trip and his...
I like the canal trip. I thought it was good. I wish I was there.
I was just hoping that he'd fall in at some point. I mean, it was about an hour's worth of footage. As that, please fall in.
Yeah, you hoped.
Didn't happen. Thoroughly disappointed.
This guy the whole time you're near the edge. So, ooh. Nope.
Content creation out the window. He should have dipped a little toe in and gone. He should have dipped a little toe in to the canal and gone. I fell in.
Yeah. I had to be rescued from the canal.
Had to be rescued with a pony.
Yeah, which was controversial.
Which was controversial. Was it a pony or was it a horse?
Yeah, it turns out it was a...
It was a bloke called Gluggy Duggy.
Isn't a pony like a £50 note in Cockney Rhyme slang? He was rescued with a 50.
Yeah, it was Gluggy Duggy and... what was it, Jazzy Jeff or...
Jazzy Jeff? No, but he did get Prince of Blair mixed up, so that's why you're thinking Jazzy Jeff. Yeah, because he said, we did... No, that was Bramwell. Bramwell was on about... fucking hell, Anyways, Bramwell was searching for Prince of Blair when he went, what are we talking shit for? Anyways, if you made it this far, I apologise. I once again apologise.
I don't. You've clearly got nothing else better to do.
Yeah, true. And if you haven't made it this far, who cares? You haven't. And neither will I. Yay.
I think I checked out after trade wins.
I think it's worthwhile, while we finish this up, you got taste notes on this one, updated, with warming. No?
Yeah. Slight sweetness now coming at the end. But it's still not cherry. It's still not kind of chocolate.
Oh, it's not chocolate. There's sweet. I'm getting sweetness, but the sweetness just feels like...
I'm kind of getting a very milky, creamy coffee.
I was going to say, is this like a lactosey...
Latte, like a latte stout. I don't know if latte stouts are a thing, but if they are...
Controversial. Sorry.
I think that is, because it is coffee.
Yeah.
But it's a creamy coffee because of that mouthfeel.
Yeah.
So coffee shops, when they put the creamer in, or the milk, or the froth,
The crema as well.
The crema,
Yeah.
you kind of get that little sweetness with the milk. And that's kind of, I just think there.
There is,
I could have that tomorrow morning for breakfast and that's a coffee.
Mine, without even grasping it, there's a sweetness coming through now, but it's not overpowering. It's still, coffee is the main element. I am sure if you had a pint of this, by the time you get to bottom, you potentially would be picking up more of the sweetness than the coffee notes at that stage. And but that's a developing beer. That's a beer that changes as you get through the pint, and that's nice.
And
I like
sometimes
that.
With a stout, that's exactly what you want.
Because it's not boring.
So I would normally chill my stout down to about 8 degrees, and then over the course of drinking the beer, especially if it's a pint or a can, I would allow it to warm up. So what happens then is the flavours develop, the body develops, and then what you end with is totally different to what you started with, because that chill has gone, and then flavours just open up and your palate enjoys it more. The last one I had was kind of like this, was a Mortalis from the US.
Well, yeah, I was about to say I've not even heard of...
So Mortalis in the
Mortalis
US
from?
do... is it New Hampshire, I want to say?
Tax haven.
Yeah.
That's all I know about it.
But
I had a chance to go to New Hampshire. I didn't. There we go.
I'm pretty sure it's New Hampshire, but it's one of those beers. I would say normal stouts, especially using soft water. So obviously in Yorkshire we've got a lot of soft water, mineral water, high minerals. It's not harsh.
That's anywhere, like even out, west and north. They've all got softer water. It's the southeast that tends to have the harder water. London in particular, it's chalky, clay.
Hard.
Yeah, hard water. I was just going to quickly go through two things that I spotted just before we, when I checked earlier. So the LochNess is a 2025 winner on Untapped for the number 3 stout in Scotland. But stout category is English stout, not Irish stout. So just to sort of clarify that. So Scottish produced non-Irish stout, Irish dry stout. It is the third in Scotland. Now, I don't know what that means, but the biggest producer probably of stout in Scotland is Brewdog. They put out a lot of stouts, don't they?
Brew pussy. Yeah.
I won't say anything there.
I
I think that's not bad. They've got like a bronze.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good product.
It's a good product. I would say from independent breweries, take out brew pussy at that point. Yeah, I could say that. I mean, I don't know how much stout would change and develop from east to west as you go through. Because as we know, like, or if you're new here and watching us talk about beer, a lot of it is determinant on the water that is used. So it can be soft, it can be hard, it can be in between, it can have a lot of minerals, exhaustion of minerals, and that totally develops the beer that you're drinking.
That's why
and changes a lot. So
London tends to be the stout, or porter I should say,
which is great
because of the water.
Imperial stouts work very, very well in the south.
Mm-hmm. It's the water quality.
Because of the water quality.
Magnesium is added in the hardness.
In Yorkshire, when Yorkshire breweries tend to try and do stouts, they have to barrel age it for it to become a really good stout.
Or they have to go the other side, adjunct it, make it sweet.
Yeah.
Pastry stout.
Pastry stout.
Yeah.
You know, all that pecan pie and whatnot. But
well,
this is good.
I'm going to say it's time to, rank and say which I'm going to struggle to say like first, second, third. I think I'm more likely to say the ones that I'm going to push forward of. If you want to, we can just move that out of the way because we reviewed that the other day. So if we look at the beers that are existing, obviously for me, I don't know if you're the same. There's one clear massive loser. One beer that doesn't reach the standards of what I would expect.
Yeah,
and it's
and
this one.
Saz.
That's
Bohemian
one I would.
Lager, yeah.
The Bohemian Lager is one that I'm not going to be saying I would go for. Otherwise, this here, LightNess, it's an easy light pale ale. Yes, it's good, but these three for me are the standout. I would drink them, but I don't think I could give a particular ranking of which is better for me overall, only because they're completely different categories and I can see them as different drinking times for them, different weather, different climates and all the rest. But they're the three that I would say, yes, they're my favourites, but I'm not discounting that one. For you, are you similar with this one? It's not.
Yeah, that one's bottom.
Yeah.
I'd probably go the same, even though this one is...
It's sessionable and easy.
You know, at that point, let's just do that because...
Let's make it nice and tidy on the camera. Probably isn't, because I don't fucking know where the camera's pointing properly.
Cameraman's probably stood there for the last 10 minutes doing all sorts. But yeah, 4 out of the 6.
Better than yesterday. Better than the previous video, sorry.
Yesterday before yesterday? Was it yesterday?
It was 2 days ago, yeah.
2 days, yeah, because I had an early night. I was in... Sorry, Mr. B, I missed your live stream because I was asleep. I was gone. We'd climbing mountains and
I would also say that this one here has won gold on Untapped for Brown Ale Scotland 2025, and it won silver last year. So the brown has been quite successful. I don't know how big the brown ale market is in Scotland. Again, as I say, if you look at like pale ales, IPAs, and even stouts, you have the bigger breweries. You got Fierce Beer, you've got Brewdog. They're brewing in that market.
Yeah.
Brown ale, I don't know how many are brewing in that market in the area.
It might just be the one.
Well, they won silver last year, so someone was ahead of them.
Well,
yeah.
Probably a substitute.
Maybe it was trade wins.
But yeah, I mean, beer-wise, that was really good. Obviously, first beer of the day for us. Went down really well. That, yeah, terrific. That one, yeah, says what it is, unlike the other. And then, like you said, brown ale. A little bit sweet for me, but it was a malty brown ale in the end, even though I questioned that at the start of that review. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for, I don't know, withstanding or somehow playing this in the background. And if you've fallen asleep, congratulations. I don't know what more to say at this stage. We've dragged on long enough. This is probably longer than the last fucking video. This is what.
Probably is.
Let me know, unedited. Yeah, just should I do that? And my answer is no. This should be a live. The only reason it's like this is as live, but pre-recorded.
Yeah.
And no interaction. Apologies.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can interact. Leave a comment below.
And Jean-Luc will respond. John will respond, and I won't. Jean-Luc Picard will respond, and I won't because that's just.
But there will be more videos coming out on his channel, on this channel.
We say that. This decade.
We've got a escalator challenge coming your way as well,
and a whiskey one,
and a whiskey review, interpretation, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of whiskey special at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah.
And finishing on a good one. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
Adios.